do you need, and what kind of student is right for the career and the program?
That's kind of interesting. We've had all sorts of students come through the program, everybody from 18-year-olds that are just came out of high school. We've had quite a few career changers. We have computer analysts, we had government workers that weren't happy with their work anymore. We had lawyers, we had a medical doctor who was a surgeon that ended his career and then looked for something different. So everybody's different that's coming through there. All of them seem to have an interest in plants. Okay, so if you think maybe design would be something you want to do, then you can come through and take some classes and maybe look at design. We have other programs that we network with that will aim you over. We have introductory things at Montgomery College, but it really is not a design program. If you want to do a landscape company, and we've had people that have wanted to go out and start their own company, well, they get the basics there. And then they feel, okay, now I've got the basics, I can go out and actually set up a successful company and make money. People like Steve that want to get in the nursery business and helps them explore. What we try and do is engage the industry that's out there. The nurserymen that already exist, the landscapers, we bring them in. A lot of them tell us they aren't teachers, but we tell them if you're good at your business, you're actually a teacher. And we'll go visit their operations. Steve had an opportunity to visit several nurseries and see what do they do and ask them, where'd you screw up? Where are you doing well? And avoid their problems. And so that works very well. And the industry is very, very supportive of the program. It works very, very well, hand in glove.
Now, did you encourage Steve to go into the program, or did you meet Stanton? I know there was some sort of initial contact that encouraged you to study.
Yeah, as part of my research and trying to decide how I would do the farm, I met Stanton at one of the Cooperative Extension seminars that they were putting on for current growers, and he said, you should come to Montgomery College because we've got there are classes you should take. Yeah, so and then there I was.
That's right. My work during the day is working with the commercial horticulture industry in the state, the greenhouses, the nurseries, the landscape companies, and the arborists. So I know that industry very well, and that's why it works very well with me teaching in the program. I know the practical end. And so when people come by under the extension part, and we see they need to have more like a course, I'll suggest they go to the Montgomery College and really get in-depth knowledge before they move forward with their decision.
Professor Gill, you said still one course here, and I understand it has something to do with bugs.
Well, I teach 3 courses actually, but 1 course a semester. In the fall, I teach what's called integrated pest management, which has entomology in it, but we talk about the new techniques, the low impact ways of dealing with the pest, monitoring IPM. In the spring, it alternates between me teaching greenhouse management, and I also teach nursery management, and that's Steve took the nursery management beside the pest management. And so, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about pest management. How important is that to somebody getting into the business? I know Steve talked about it as being very essential.
Well, bugs happen. Basically, that's part of life. What Steve was saying, you have to anticipate the problems. Diseases, insects, that is a major part of the plant industry. And people, everybody says, well, I love plants, but they don't realize they all get problems. Just like humans, you love children too, but you have to know they're going to get sick, and you have to have nutrition in the program for them, exercise and things to take care of. You have to learn all that, and you have to learn what is potential that could bring you down and what are the things you can just ignore. Steve was saying some things you just let go. Well, some of those pests you don't worry about. You have to realize how to recognize the good guys that are out in your nursery and how to try and encourage them so you do less of chemical applications in there. So what we do with the course is try and not make people entomologists. That's my job as being an entomologist. They may want to go on their career, but it's to give them the basics so they understand the insects, life cycles, if they get a pest, how to identify it, and then what the steps are they go to deal with it.
I'm sorry. So I just have to ask while we're on the bugs, are people, is there one common bug that people are concerned about in this area? Is there one thing that's the sort of the biggest Montgomery County pest? And I mean bugs here, yeah.
Yeah, every year there's different insects that will be a pest in a nursery. When we have wet years like we had in 2003 and 2004, what happens is that impacts the next year. Things like Japanese beetles. Their eggs survive, the larvae do very well in those wet years, and that means the beetles come out heavy the next year. That becomes a major pest for nurseries the following years after those wet years. When we have droughty years like we had for 2 years, then their larvae die, and we don't see Japanese beetle as a problem in the nursery. So it's an ever-changing field. It isn't the same old, so it's not boring by any means. You're always going to have some new pest. With all the importation that's occurring, there's new pests that come in all the time. and we have things like emerald ash borer that down in Maryland.
Right.
It is in Prince George's County, and it's taking out all the ash. That's becoming a factor. It's influenced the nursery industry. We tell, you know, when Steve was in my class, I said, don't plant ash. And that has been one of the top number 10 trees that nurserymen have grown for years. Now we're saying, don't plant it. You have to think down the road, there's not going to be a market for it because we have a pest that will take it out.
Kind of to wrap things up, I wanted to ask both of you if you have any advice for someone who is maybe considering going into landscape technology or into the horticulture field. What would you recommend? Just kind of something
Steve.
short.
The first thing is make friends with people that are already in the business. I mean, meet, you know, if you want to start a nursery, you should be visiting nurseries 3 a week for as long as you can stand it. I mean, don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely. I agree with that completely. Get to know the people in the industry. They share the information. You come into a program where you're taking classes and then get exposed to those people in the industry. After they speak to a group or you visit them, go visit them afterwards and learn from them.
Is it good to start maybe just at a basic introduction course, maybe at Montgomery College?
There is an introduction to horticulture at the Montgomery College Germantown campus. I would suggest taking that and see if you're interested in plants. And that's a little bit of a cornucopia of different subjects, so you can see all design, landscape installation, turf management, and see where your interest is. Then take classes. Some people take the whole program and never go into a career in it. That's fine. Maybe that wasn't their path. But it'll help you make your decision. Where do you fit in here?
Is it a good mix of men and women in the class?
Absolutely, it is, yes. And all age groups, so what we're seeing is quite a few career changers in the past couple of years.
And is the impact of sort of the green movement having any impact on the program? That is, as people become more conscious about their environment, have you seen a spike in interest or different interests in the classes based on our seemingly new concern with the environment?
Well, to a certain degree, yes. There's people more and more interested in things like invasive species, sustainability, organics, that sort of thing, and integrated pest management. Yeah.
Thank you
thanks
so
much for joining us.
Thanks.
If you have any comments about today's shows or suggestions for future episodes, send an email to campus.conversations@montgomerycollege.edu. For all of us here at Campus Conversations, I'm Elizabeth Homan.
And I'm Fritzi Bodenheimer. Thanks for watching.